Hi, everyone. It's Kim. Thanks for joining me. I have been out of town a lot this past week and away from my craft desk. So when I sat down to make cards, I decided I better keep clean and simple in mind. And I think I nailed the simple part. The clean, not so sure about. I also decided that my paper selections, especially for my backgrounds, could do a lot of the work. So they contributed to the simple part of the equation, but they also determined whether the card was clean looking or not. So let's start with this one. The dies that I'm using today are all very new. They're all recently have come out, and I'm using several different companies. So we're going to start here with Birch Press Design. This is from their latest collection, and I've used a couple of them here. The first one is the passion fruit flower, and I used a lot of ink drop pads for my die cuts. I just love the colors, and it really adds a lot to them in a very easy way. The butterfly is called Radiant Butterfly. So I just combined those and I dug through my paper stash for the background. And then the hello is something that I just pulled out of my leftover pieces. I do believe that is a Spellbinders die, but I did not go back and try to find that just because I have kind of no idea what die set that came from. So again, if you've got leftover pieces, sentiments especially, this is a great way to use them. But these were easy die cuts to put together, so I could use them together or I could use them separately. And with Mother's Day coming along, something like this might be perfect. I realize these might be a little late for Mother's Day this year, but really, these cards can be used for pretty much any occasion. And I just put hello on there, but some of these I just left without a sentiment. So one more butterfly. This gives you a little different idea, a little different style. So there we've got that butterfly again. And then my background on this is like an old tattered negative. And this is from All and Create. This is a brand new die out. So we've got the black like film strip, and then this kind of gray part is another die. And then I just have this scribble. So I could replace this with a sentiment, or I could just leave the scribble and put my sentiment on the inside. And you can see how there's a number of just different miscellaneous dies that are kind of scribbled. And then there is one for the numbers as well. To use that is a strip, or if you wanted, you could save the numbers and use those in a couple circles. There is also a die like this for a portrait. So we'll be using that where it's longer for the little uh, holes here on the side, so it's a longer, but I could use this like this as well, but there is a second die, a film strip die, which we will be using. So this is the landscape version, and let's see if I can see what the name of this one is. Retro Numbers. So the very neat, this is one that we saw at Creativation, and we'll be looking at more All and Create dies and stamps as we go along. So totally different feel using that same butterfly die. And here's another Birch Press one. Again, I let the paper do a lot of the work. The crane was easy to put together. This is called Crane, again from Birch Press. And then put the crane together, find a piece of paper you like. The summer vacation paper pad I love. It's 5x7, so a lot of times I have to cut it down. I think this is a 4x6 card, I believe. So I just, put the crane where I like it, trim it down, and then just put it on my card base. But this paper pack has some different views of lakes, which I love. And then I made another crane because I decided, well, the crane probably isn't upright its whole life. I could move the crane around. So this is my second crane. He's kind of bent over, checking out what's in the water there, probably looking for dinner. And again, just put it on a scenic background. I mean, there's no way I could create that background, but it does all the work. And then all I have to do is add my die cut. And I have done this, I know, using these backgrounds before, just making something die cut and putting it down there and making a very simple card. And I'll call this clean, even though the background is a picture, so to speak, but it's not all inky around the edges and real grungy. So that's another super simple way to use a die cut. And then I have one more for Birch Press, and this one is called Tufted Bird. So I just picked the colors out that I liked. I didn't have any particular bird in mind, but with this little tuft here, he would make a great blue jay or a cardinal. Just change up your colors so that they are appropriate for your bird. This branch is the first die I ever purchased from Memory Box. I love this. It's called Woodland Branch. It's been gone for a long time, but I know there's other branches out there. But I thought how appropriate to pick the first die from Memory Box I ever purchased and combine it with Birch Press. And then I didn't put a sentiment on this. This one, again, could be really for any occasion, but I pulled out a few things just to show you that you can use it for anything. These were the Spellbinders Better Press sentiments that were made for us for Creativation for a class I took there. It's from the Take Note collection. And the Better Press plate is called Real Color Sentiments, and that is out now. So I could really just do anything. I just pulled out a bunch of them just to show you, you could use that bird and really any of these cards that I've shown you for anything. And I just, I'm looking at this one and I'm thinking that bird is so focused on something in the lake. Focus on what matters. That might be perfect for this one. Or even, this one if you have an occasion for a sentiment like that. So use them for whatever. These might be perfect to make some of these easy ones and have them ready to go when you need them. And then we've got one last little animal to look at today, and that's our little frogs. And this is from Spellbinders. This is called Frog Prince. So I've used almost all the pieces in this. I haven't used the crown and these other little stems, this other little greenery that would, probably be coming up through the pond. I didn't use that, but this could be a Mother's Day card, a family, a child giving mom a little flower, or it could be, I'm thinking a Valentine card, giving maybe a husband giving his wife. Since this little frog, I decided to add a few little eyelashes, and this is red, kind of a little red lipstick for that frog. I'm sure not too many frogs wear lipstick. And then she also has painted fingernails. So that was fun to use all those pieces. The mushroom and the sunflower you could use on their own, same as the frogs. You don't have to combine them. This is a great mushroom. And so I thought, well, I'm going to do one more here with just the frog and the mushroom. This time he's kind of hanging out underneath the mushroom. And I'll show you, this is an old die from Memory Box. When I was digging out the branch, I came across this old die. This is called Bubble Burst. And you just cut it into your background. So I thought, well, that kind of looks like rain or whatever you want to call it. Maybe it's moonbeams, whatever you want it to be. And then he's kind of hanging out underneath that mushroom. But again, super easy on all of these. The die cuts were easy to put together. And then I just let the paper do so much of the work. And then I could get these put together and ready to go. And then if I had these, say some of these already made ahead of time, how easy would it be then just to add a sentiment and have my card in the mail in no time. So thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you again in a future video.